just kind of hoping. Alright, Irencrag feet, add 7, Ugin, come on down. And what do we actually have to hit here? Just 2, right?
Always consider the consequences of your freedom.
So, yeah, that happened. The opponent's like, wait a minute. We're also very close to getting down this Fiery Emancipation. You know what I mean? And now we just deal 9 damage with Ugin. That's crazy.
My flame.
What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be taking a look at a Mono Red Chromatic Orrery deck. And I know there was Mono Green Chromatic out for a while. Was it 2, maybe 3, 4 sets ago? It's been a hot minute, but Chromatic Orrery coming out in the new M21 core set 2021, however you want to say it, has revitalized my spirits of the chromatic decks, and so we're going to be diving into one today. But first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to Wizards of the Coast for giving me access to the pre-release event. They did it for this video and all the ones you've seen up to this point. It was a super fun event, and I got to test out a lot of decks that probably wouldn't have gotten the chance to otherwise, so hats off to them, or whatever, shout out. The good stuff. So on into the deck that we're playing today, Chromatic Orrery. It's a 7 mana legendary artifact that reads, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. You can tap it and add 5 colorless mana, which because of its own ability, you can tap and add 5 mana of any color basically. And then you can pay 5 mana, tap it, and draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So you do need to have colors in permanents, otherwise it won't count and you won't get to draw anything. You'll just pay 5 mana for nothing, which I'm not going to say who may or may not have done that. Anyways, Irencrag feet, you're saying, what chance it's a 7 mana card? Like, how are we gonna get there in red? We're gonna use a bunch of Steamkins or something? No, we're gonna use Irencrag feet. It's a 4 mana card that says add 7 mana. You can cast only 1 more spell this turn. So 4 mana, you can get down to turn 4 Chromatic Orrery, which is insane because that means at turn 4 you're ramping all the way up to 9 mana, which, you guessed it, is enough to play Ugin. So turn 5 Ugin sounds pretty sweet, and you'll also have mana left over, right? At least 2 if you're playing cards on curve. Now, outside of Irencrag feet and Chromatic Orrery, what are we playing here today? Well, we have Fiery Emancipation, which is one of the new cards from core set 2021. It's a 6 mana enchantment that reads, if the source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. So the nice thing is, if you're not hitting your Chromatic Orrery, right? Fiery Emancipation is a great way to make your Legion War Boss down here in the bottom end and your Gadrak and things of that nature deal tons of damage. And a Legion War Boss giving you little 1/1s that deal 3 points of damage every turn is, again, insane, right? And it's one of the newer cards, so I really wanted to test it out. Alongside that, we also have Chariot of the Peaks. Y'all know I have a weird man crush on this card. I'm sure it will subside over the weeks, but for right now, 5 mana, 5/4. Spells your opponent's cast that target Chariot of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Chariot of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So again, you have Gadrak, you have Legion War Boss, you have Drakuseth, and then over in your sideboard you have some artifact creatures that you can grab as well. And we'll get into that once we hop into this card, Karn the Great Creator. It's a 4 mana artifact. It's a 4 mana planeswalker that reads, activated abilities of artifacts your opponents can't control can't be activated. So witches, ovens, things of that nature, right? Until your next turn, for the +1 ability, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost. So this is actually really nice for your Chromatic Orrery because it makes it into a 7/7 creature, which is a solid body. Now, granted, it won't proc Terror of the Peaks, it's still a 7/7 body, right? Anyways, for the -2, you may choose an artifact you control from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card and put it into your hand. So the or in exile is really nice actually. But over in our sideboard, and I'm not going to go through all these in detail right now, we'll come back to that at the end of the deck tech, but we have things like Embercleave, which, like I said, with Chromatic Orrery makes this little combo right here, just 2 cards, super powerful because it's giving Embercleave to a 7/7 creature. Makes it an 8/8 double strike and trample monster. So Chromatic Orrery, it obviously, like, once you ramp into it, you're like, where do I spend my mana? And that's where Karn comes in to get you all this good stuff. Now, outside of that, down here in the lower end, we have Manifold Key, which is actually really great with Chromatic Orrery for the simple fact that you tap Chromatic, add 5 mana, then you pay 1 mana with Manifold to untap another target artifact, which is Chromatic, and then you retap Chromatic for another 5 mana, so you're at 9 mana total. It's just crazy the amount of stuff you can do with this deck, the amount of mana you can build up, and then, you know, with Karn grabbing things out, even like a Stonecool Serpent, where then you just dump all that non-mana into a big old creature. It's fantastic. Furthermore, you can pay 3 extra mana if you want to. And then Manifold Key, if you tap it, target creature can't be blocked this turn, so you get down a big old Stonecool, or you get it on your Chromatic or Terror or Drakuseth or whatever, and then you throw Emperor Cleave on it, or you have your Fiery Emancipation or whatever, right? Can't be blocked, so you're just going to the face. For 1 mana, this is an excellent card, and it is only an uncommon. Now, I should preface this will be rotating out when the next set enters, so I feel like I should say that about all the older cards, and I'll try to. There may be some that I forget. You know, that's just how life goes. Moving us along, we have 3 copies of Cathartic Reunion, and I might actually cut this down to just 2, but it does help you get through to your combo, and that's pretty much really what you all want to be doing with this deck, right? You want to get to your Irencrag, you want to get down your Chromatic Orrery, or if you can get to 5 mana, you can use Irencrag to also just get down to Ugin, and turn 5 Ugin is not a bad proposition. Now, obviously, it's better to get down the Chromatic Orrery first, but, you know, who's complaining? Moving us down, we have 4 copies of Fire Prophecy. Again, it's removal that allows you to cycle through your deck and sort of find your combo. Throw a Possibility is like Cathartic Reunion, except it's at instant speed, and I wanted more ways to get to the combo, and I wanted to test out if Cathartic Reunion blah 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 or Thrill of Possibility was better. I think Thrill is better, so I think it's probably safe to cut Cathartic completely, throw in 2 more copies of Thrill of Possibility, and you could probably find a slot somewhere else, maybe another Gadrak or something, right? Maybe another Terror of the Peaks, that'd probably be nice. Anyways, Electro Dominance, it really should be over here in the top end, but it'll be fine for right now. Electro Dominance deals X damage to any target. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost X or less. Hope you don't hear my oven going off. Without paying its mana cost. So pretty cool if you can, you know, pay 7 mana, you can down a free Terror of the Peaks, or 6 mana, you can get down Karn. The nice thing is, again, with Irencrag feat, this sort of allows you to, well, it doesn't allow you to cast a second spell, so you should be very, like, careful about that, because this does read you may cast a spell. This says you can't cast, so like keep that in mind. You can't use Electro Dominance and get something down, but it allows you to use your Electro Dominance for that last little bit of damage. And sometimes you hit Irencrag feat real late, and you're like, oh, what am I even going to do this for? Something like an Electro Dominance, right? Something like a big top end play. Or if you have a Stonecool Serpent, then you can make it really big, right? But it's mostly for like going to face, finishing them out with that last little bit. Gadrak. Again, this is an actual artifact deck where we're able to get artifacts down with Karn, so you actually have the potential to swing in with him, and the fact that he gives you something back whenever your Legion War Boss or Terror of the Peaks or whatever dies, you know, your other artifact creatures, you get something back, so it's kind of nice there. And those artifacts allow you to ramp. I don't know if it's the best, but again, I was trying out some new cards, so cut me a break. Most of my decks can be made to be a little more efficient. Anyways, Drakuseth, y'all saw it the other day with Terror of the Peaks. It's fantastic. 7 mana, 7/7. That comes down and deals like 17 damage, and you know, with Terror it can deal up to like 24 damage. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. And again, you can use Irencrag feat and then just ramp right into this. So turn 4 Drakuseth, you're not gonna say no to it, right? And your opponent's probably gonna be scared as shit. So over here into the sideboard now, I will go through some of these picks. Crystalline Giant, we've seen it before. It's really good. It's really cost efficient. So if you want to throw it into your sideboard just to have a general all-around creature that could potentially gain a hexproof counter or whatever, sure. You want to have a little bit of fun, it's fun for the deck. Spark Hunter Mastercore, I think this is an actual card you'll be pulling out with Karn. Like I was saying, Spark Hunter Mastercore, this is a card that you'll actually be pulling out with Karn because it has the protection from Planeswalkers. It can sink all that extra mana that you may have into dealing damage as soon as it comes down, and you can pay 3 mana and avoid board wipes. So it's a really awesome card, and for it to be in your sideboard and not have to clog up your main board, even better. Solemn, you know what, Solemn. 4 mana, 2/2, allows you to search for cards. It's good if you don't have your Irencrag feat, and so you're like, well, I need to ramp, right? Gives you that ramp, and it gives you a card whenever it dies. All in all, great card. We also have some Chrome Rep. We also have we also have some Chrome Replicators, 5 mana 4/4. The nice thing about this card is you want to pull it when you have your Terror of the Peaks already down, plus, you know, 2 mana 4 keys or whatever, 2 Legion War Bosses, 2. Well, you can't have 2 of those, but you get what I'm saying. 2 permanents that are the same, that are also non-token. Whenever this enters the battlefield, then you get this 4/4 plus another 4/4. So obviously with Terror of the Peaks, that's 8 damage to wherever you want it, and you just got 2 4/4s on the board. So it's a little bit niche, but it is very, very good. And since you're playing Karn and you can grab it whenever you want, you know, with your Karn down, you don't have to grab it, and so it's a nice little add-in. Personally, I think, yes, you could play things like Soul God Lantern if you want to, which are very efficient, and I'd highly recommend you fit one in here somewhere. Anyways, Ember Cleave, it's a fun card. I already mentioned it a million times. I feel like you throw it on your Drakuseth, Chromatic, literally anything you have in the deck, and it's pretty good. And since it's an artifact, it can be grabbed with Karn. Chromatic Orrery, if you're not able to find your Chromatic Orrery, but you found your Irencrag and you found your Karn, boom, you have a Chromatic Orrery. Meteor Golem, again, is one of those cards that's fantastic. You have your Chromatic Orrery down, then it's, you know, pretty easy to cast it, and you get a 3/3 down. So if you have Terror of the Peaks, you also get 3 damage, so you're going to destroy something plus 3 damage. It's value town. Gate Colossus, this is a great one with Terror of the Peaks, because again, you're going to have your Chromatic Orrery, which is going to allow you to cast it. I know it's 8, and you're not really reducing the costing any on it, but you know, an 8/8 coming down that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It should end the game. This is a solid creature. It avoids the Storm's Wrath. Now, it doesn't avoid the other board wipes, but that's why you have, you know, your Spark Hunter Mastercore. So, and then last but not least, we have Stone Cool Serpent. Again, this is a great mana dump. You can just ramped up into the end, but you can't manage to finish out the game. It has reach, it has trample, it has protection from multicolor, so it avoids the Teferis and things like that. And enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counter, so it can get really, really, really big, especially given this deck can ramp really, really hard. Anyways, that's going to do it for the deck or deck breakdown. As always, I highly, highly, highly recommend you watch all the way through the video. We have those pro tips that are splashed into the game, so you can get the most amount of value if you watch through and, you know, see what I have to say about the deck and how I should have played plays differently or whatever. Also, I recommend you watch through to the end. That way you can get the deck tech wrap up, which is the portion of the video where I come back through and I tell you cards that I would change about the deck to either make it more competitive or more fun, or both, right? So, all that being said and out of the way, we're going to go and hop right into our match. That's a keep. That's a hard keep. By the way, first game going to be up against the Maverick Girl. Happy to have him. And of course, as always, just as Bloody has come in here and shown y'all to me, basically, I highly, highly recommend if you see any content creators and you see their decks, you enjoy them, go check them out. They're on YouTube, they're on Twitch. I'll almost guarantee it. If they're not, they're probably a podcaster, or they do some other sort of back-end stuff with Magic. But nonetheless, I'm fairly sure you can find the content that these people put out if you just search their name in a given social media. And if not, you know, you can always contact the creator that you're currently watching, and I'm sure they might have some information. So we're doing it, right? Just like that, turn 4, boom, no problem, no worries. It does feel good, I gotta say. I didn't think turn 1 we were gonna just plop it down like that, but when it happens, it happens. This deck looks gas. Thank you. Alright, so back to the list. Library of 46, Support Move. Support Move. I like that. Call Me Clint, Scrambled Zard, Ender Smog, Muffins on a Hill. These names are fantastic. Cuddle Bunch, Some Guy Named Dane. Hey, thanks, Some Guy Named Dane. Okay, so you're coming down because I just love this card. And you're coming down. Now, unfortunately, we could have plussed the Chromatic Orrery up and dealt 7 damage, but I'd rather get the Karn down. And by the way, our opponent's playing a Shrine deck. Gotta say, hats off to him for that. What are we going for here? We're going for something that can enter the battlefield and really mess up our opponent. We don't have 2 copies of anything down. I don't want to take forever on this. Let's just do Meteor Golem. I should have done Gate Colossus. It's over. It's fine. It's fine. And also, the cool thing about this deck is you actually can get enough artifacts to turn the Gadrak online, so it's kind of nice there. Alright, so some guy named Dame. Then we have Done Randomly, Dirty Techies Picker. Dirty Techies Picker.
You are only
I may say some of your names wrong. I do apologize for that. Chloroform Kid, Slytherin Umbrian, Gabriel BM, Yux 0412, Big Tony with a whole lot of ones, Voodoo Gremlin, Butters 343, Darthanu? Saying that one wrong. Teddy Toast, Ace of Rainbows, Ace of Rainbows. Ah, I see. And then Tandera. I'm sorry for the butchering of the names. Thank you all so much for the follows. English is my first language, but it's not my strongest. Jank is definitely my strongest language here. So, all right. I can't allow you to just keep destroying my stuff. We gotta start taking out your shrines. I was all for letting you have your fun. We can do this. Okay, that works. We just got 14 mana worth of stuff. That's just crazy. Alright, so a bunch of people came from Bloody Stream because we want that black red dragon list. No people just came in because you beat on Bloody. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry also that it's taking me so long to like check back the chat. Try to keep up with everything.
Show remorse. I'll show you. Don't worry. I got this.
Chromatic turn 4? Yeah, that's what we're going for. But, you know, sometimes it gets bounced like there, and then you're just sort of left sad inside. That's okay, though, because we're at 6 mana, so, like, one more, and we can get it down. It's no biggie. Stone Cool Serpent? Yeah, Stone Cool would have been really good there, actually. I gotta admit, I'm not doing the best in this game because I keep checking back to chat and, you know, all that good stuff. Not to blame y'all. Not that I'm blaming chat. I would never. Chromatic Orrery coming down. We still don't have 4 artifacts, but we have 2, so we're on the road. We're on the road to redemption. No, just leave Meteor. Damn it. It's okay. We're creating a treasure token thanks to our Meteor Golem having lost his life.
I know my responsibility.
How many of those you got tucked in there, huh? Oh, right, because you don't tap it unless... You can tell I'm getting tired. As if I wasn't already. So yeah, we could go for the Drakuseth. Oh man, I'm such a fiend for the jank. Such a fiend for the jank. Oh hey, look at that. I didn't even count my mana, but we actually got them both because 5 from Chromatic, 1 from the land, and 1 from the treasure. Look at that, I can do math every once in a while. I gotta say, I'm enjoying the shrine deck from the opponent though. I didn't think it was gonna be as good as what it seems to be doing. Gaining that extra mana is really nice.
Let's try this.
Don't shatter the sky me. Don't do it. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, so we're probably drawing here, but I do want to swing in first, given that they could always shatter the sky us. Or do something like that. You gotta be prepared. Completely forgot about the white one. Hey! That's pretty good. We can't do anything with the mana this turn, but there's the combo for people wondering why I'm playing Manifold Keyed in this deck. It's for the big mana. If we could just find that Electro Dominus, I think we could have this game in the bag. That's 9, 14,
No,
13,
I am not making this up as I go.
17 mana. No, we still wouldn't have it. My goodness. I've never seen an opponent just work so well at not taking damage, you know what I mean? I gotta say, hats off to him. Alright. Give me something good. Yeah, okay. It's something. Alright. That is something alright. Oh, did we already play a land? Ah, I only have 4 mana. That's a shame. Alright, so they use the white one again, tap my Drakuseth. The nice thing is that means they have to leave that mana up, right? So, I guess there's that. Although their Teferi can outbounce my stuff again, so we're in the loop. We're stuck in the loop. I resemble that statement.
Trust me, I have a plan.
I'll blame chat for you. Yeah, chat is what you make it, you know? If you call your chat a bunch of degenerates, they'll turn into a bunch of degenerates. If you call them smart people and you call them nice, kind, awesome people, well then you're gonna get nice, kind, awesome people. Okay, I'm loving the vibe you're throwing at me here, game. We have all of the mana in the entire world. We have so much mana, I can just sort of do with it whatever I like, you know? I feel like a king eating grapes. This is instant speed, but they have its fairy, so instant speed doesn't exist, you know what I mean? By the way, Gadrak will give us another token. Yeah, I think we are. Gadrak will give us another token thanks to the Grazer dying here, so we'll have 4 artifacts after this. So that's good. That's bright news. Yeah, beautiful. We also have Legion War Boss, which is going to start, you know, throwing down units. Very long game, but a very fun one. Still getting follows here. Still burn, thanks for the follow.
Here we go.
Here we go, Teferi. Here we go. I actually hit the Electro Dominance. That's really funny. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. It's instant speed, isn't it? We don't have. Oh well, yeah, they have Teferi. Whatever. All right. So that's 13 plus 9 is 22 plus 2 is 24. 24 minus 2 is 22 damage. If this doesn't kill you, I don't know what will, Maverick Girl. Oh no, we had 23 damage. The treasure token. Oh no, but you want to leave that on. You may not play these cards. Why not? Oh, because they're dead. Oh. I was like, I just paid 22 mana, damn it. Oh man. This is like good low end, right? Like good starter, terrible starter. So, of course, if we can hit 1 Irencrag feat, then we're in this game, right? Because we have the Drakuseth. We'll have to see though. I'm liking the looks of this Selesnya token life gain deck. Yes, we will. Oops. What are you saying oops about? Alright, so things that I'm looking for. Drakuseth is interesting, but I feel like an Ugin might be a little bit better. Legion War Boss does give us a creature, but if it dies every turn, then it doesn't really. But with these two, we can actually ramp up into the top end. So we're discarding the Karn. Okay. I'm not upset about that. If we can hit 5 mana, we can hit the Ugin with our Irencrag feat. Or we could just hit our Fiery Emancipation and just deal triple damage with like our little 1/1 Gabo tokens. I don't know. We'll see. If we even live that long, our opponent is like You shall not pass. Mwahaha. So we're gonna get down the Gadrak. Next turn, Irencrag feat, maybe. Maybe. Just leave him alone. What has poor little Gadrak ever done to you? Oh hey, it's Andre Mengucci. I'm terrible with names, but you know, another top name, like really good player. That's cool. That's cool that we're running into some of these like actual professionals. I'm like a jank professional, you know. You come to me with a set, you can expect some pretty cool throughs, but you don't probably want to be. That is our 5th mana, by the way. We need to wait a turn for the Ugin, so we need our stuff to survive one more turn. I think Legion War Boss, I think it'll do its job pretty well here. Just sort of build up our mana, right? Oh no, it's non-token. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. For some reason I was like, oh yeah, this will totally work with Gadrak. I'm tired. And our opponent has so many creatures, I'm actually terrified that they just like unbreakable formation us here. Man, wouldn't that be a letdown. Huatli's Raptor though. Oh, if you could have just got counters on all these little bad boys. They're still swinging all in. Hey, you with the face. Chill out there. These two have trample. I almost don't even want to block them. How much damage is that? 8? Okay, so that is lethal. We do need to block them. Confirmed. Need to block these creatures. Are we blocking with the Gadrak too? I think so, because we're about to get down to an Ugin, so you know, just kind of makes good sense. Alright, fine. We're blocking them all out. Do we still die though? I guess that's a good question. No? Alright. I didn't actually do the math. Just kind of hoping. Alright, Irencrag feat, add 7. Ugin, come on down. And what do we actually have to hit here? Just 2, right?
Always consider the consequences of your freedom.
So, yeah, that happened. The opponent's like, wait a minute. We're also very close to getting down this Fiery Emancipation. You know what I mean? And now we just deal 9 damage with Ugin. That's crazy.
My flames burn beyond perception.
That's actually crazy. +2 on a Planeswalker, deal 9 damage to any target. Yikes. Andre, you better run. Oh, hey, wait! Where's my GG at? Tons of stuff. We are going to keep this hand. We're so close to the Irencrag feat already. It's hard to imagine we don't get there, right? We could use Cathartic Reunion on turn 2, discard the Gadrak and Fiery Emancipation. I'm honestly thinking about it because, like, we have the Irencrag. We just need the 1 land. We need Chromatic Orrery. We're set. Although I see that Loyal Pegasus, kind of want a Fire Prophecy instead. Ah, so our opponent's playing mono white weenies. Alright. If we can get to 5 mana, there's a Ugin. Am I going for a Gadrak? Or am I using Cathartic to discard the Gadrak and the other Cathartic? I think I am going for a Gadrak. It's a great defender up against a mono white weenies deck. Yes, they can tap it out with Giant Killer, but it's going to take all their mana to do that, so they're basically paying 2 mana to deal 1 damage. And I don't think that equates to a good play, basically. It's like worse than a shock. You, my sorta cruel aggro deck? You want me to play it? I went ahead and pulled it up. Yeah, we got. Ooh, Venerated Lockstone. I'll throw it in here after we get done with this one for sure, Mac. You know me, love the spicy plays. I feel bad because I can't use Cathartic and keep the Ugin in hand, so like I'm at this weird position. Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. We're waiting a turn. We may want to cut down the number of Cathartics. That does deserve a nice. That Irencrag beat. Well, we don't need 2 Irencrag beats, so I think we found our other discard target. Okay, so we're drawing lands. That kills me, doesn't it? No, alive by 1. Oh, that's beautiful.
Perfection is a journey, not a
Alright, we're at 1 health.
You are too dangerous.
We're at 5, 6. We'll be at 7 life or 7 mana as well, which means we can play down the Drakuseth.
I leave you to your doom.
Bum 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 bum. Drakuseth. Now, fortunately, Giant Killer can't go tapping our Drakuseth quite yet. But, you know, that Conclave Tribunal, I hear it does some good work. Alright, so we're using Electro Dominance to keep us in the game here. Guess we should have done it for 6 to make sure, but that's alright. Taking out our opponent's creature. And it's just back and forth with us. Little Pegasus? Well, that means they can't use Castle Ardenvale. Oh, lands! They're getting us. We've drawn non-lands in the top 18 cards of our deck. That's literally 50-50. We're so flooded right now. Well, that's a GG. We'll get down the Drakuseth, but what can I say? We flooded out. Flooded out. But that was still a good game, though. Like we definitely had that one in the bag had we not drawn 50-50 with our lands. So I think people have a bit of an observation bias, myself included, when it comes to Arena. By the way, Human Token 0420 gonna be our next foe. I'm liking what I'm seeing here because we have the 4 mana for the Irencrag into the Drakuseth. We have the Legion War Boss that can come down on turn 3, hopefully. Can we? Can we do it? Is it gonna get quenched? Hated Gusted. Toss it to the bottom. We got an Irencrag that's about to come down with a Drakuseth. I like how you can see the eyeball out the side on deck there, just a little bit. Oh goody, a Teferi. That's what I wanted. So instead of using Irencrag and having them bounce our hard work with that, we're gonna
My purpose is greater than myself.
we're gonna grab a Spark Hunter Masticore, I think. Yeah, I think I like that. I think I like that. So we'll be able to play down Spark Hunter Masticore and have a little bit of protection. We'd also ping the Teferi twice. We might just drill into our Spark Hunter Masticore with mana. You know what I mean?
Let's try this.
I don't understand. nice. Whatever your little combo is there, all I gotta say is nice. So we could go Irencrag into the Chromatic just to get down the Spark Hunter. I kind of like the idea of that, though they will bounce the Chromatic after that. Oh, we can't. Ah, I botched it. Always with the botching and the stuff.
I will not stop.
Alright, so I may have made a mistake by playing Chromatic Orrery. I was sitting there talking about don't do this, don't play Chromatic Orrery before you're... What happens when you get too tired? That's alright, we'll figure it out. An instant speed spell would be really nice here. Like a Fire Prophecy. They should use their Teferi to bounce my Chromatic Orrery.
Be better prepared next time.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I did it to myself. A Thassa-Yorion deck. Still don't understand the purpose of that, but you know. So we're up to 6 mana there, which means we're 1 away from being able to just get down Chromatic Orrery. I like the idea of just throwing down Spark Hunter Masticore, whatever his name is. We're actually gonna get rid of the Drakuseth. Yeah. And then, hey, look, Teferi, a card that you can't interact with that can remove you in 1 turn. Isn't that fun?
Really should have seen that coming.
You really should have seen that one coming. Bastard, bouncing my Chromatic Orrery, making me work twice as hard. When you get too memey, Mac, that is a constant problem for me, my friend. Now the question is, though, do I go for the Chromatic Orrery or do I go for the big old Stone Cold Serpent that can actually block the Dream Trawler? Of course, I guess if we get down Chromatic Orrery, we have enough mana to put down a Stone Cold Serpent big enough to deal with the Dream Trawler, so that kind of feels like what we should be doing. Ba-boom! This has protection from Planeswalkers, that's it, so we don't want to be swinging in there. It's an interesting deck, nonetheless, that we're looking at here. It just feels like one that we've seen before. You know, like many a times before. Maybe they're just getting warmed up. You know, they're like, I'll play one of the decks that I had loaded up from Theros. We'll give it a go. Flip. Well, that does make their Dream Trawler bigger. Thankfully, Dream Trawler can't get through Stone Cold Serpent. So we'll have to hope they don't have something like a Brazen Borrower, right? That can bounce our Stone Cold Serpent. Ah, Thassa tap it. That's right, Thassa. You do your tappage. Because you're a mono-colored card. Ooh. So we might be losing this one. What are they bouncing back in, I wonder? Charming Prince, Bibblethip. Well, you don't want to see that. Oh man, permanents that have colors in them. Oh, that's priceless. Ew. I think that is gonna make for a GG here, and I don't mind calling it early here. They literally haven't played a single new card, which is a little disheartening. The Asian Avenger. Hey, we're up against Krim. Is that his name? I try to watch everybody in the Magic community, but some people, their hours of streaming just don't line up with mine, you know? Because I'm a early morning kind of person. Some people are late night kind of people. But I will say I've watched the Asian Avenger here and there and everywhere. I've watched him a few times. So we probably will be using the Thrill of Possibility here. What are we discarding though? Because I really want the Legion War Boss. Knowing Krim, he's probably playing some control, right? Tons of land, just tons and tons of land. I should actually go through and just cut out some of these lands, it feels like, 'cause there's so many. Like, doesn't it feel like I get flooded a fuck ton? Top 11 cards, we've drawn 6 lands. There's not 26 lands in this. There's shit. All right, I can deal with that. As long as we don't get countered, of course. Countered would be the worst thing. But if we can find one more land, that's our Ugin. And if not, we can use our Karn, get him down -2, get our Chromatic Orrery out of our sideboard. So we can get there. We can get to where we're going, hopefully. Narset, you dirty boy, not letting me draw. Another Irencrag feed. You don't know how much I wanted that to be a land. That's okay. I am Karn. Wahahaha. Yeah, I think I am still going for Chromatic Orrery here. It has definitely been feeling floody. Yeah, see, as a content creator, or at least me personally, I shouldn't say as a content creator, because not everyone feels the same, you know? But me personally, as a content creator, whenever I'm like, oh, I'm getting flooded, I try not to be like, oh, this is just bad luck. I try to be like, you know what? Maybe I've had some really good games here recently, and now this is payback for that. You know, we did great with that Liliana Waker of the Dragon deck, so maybe this is the game, like, yeah, you want to do good, you want to be a wise guy, eh? A part of me wants to keep that Irencrag feat just because that plus Electro Dominance, we could actually build up a crap ton of mana, especially now that, well, they're about to bounce our Electro Dominance. Krim, you bastard, can you just not play control? Well, it was fun while it lasted. We had Chromatic down for, you know, 30 seconds. That's got to be a record of some kind, right? They definitely have the counter magic. Let's see if we can't hit them with this. You may not play these.
Conceivable.
What?
I'll protect you.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Did I miss something with Electro Dominance? Deals X damage to any target. You may cast a spell with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. We paid 3, but we couldn't play.
My skills are aged to perfection.
Am I missing something, chat? You'd be doing it instant speed. I thought I was in the main phase though. I thought I was literally in my second main phase. That really blows if that's the case. Okie dokie, time to go diving for some more stuff. Well, I guess we could do this. But realistically, we want that big Ugin, right? We might want the big Ugin more than Chromatic Orrery, because Chromatic Orrery can't necessarily come down and just pop off for us. Of course, if we get Manifold Key, we'll see. Alright, I'm going to bed. I should honestly shame scoop that one. That's a whole just get out. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't want to be a dick in these things. It resolves at instant speed effect during the card effect.
I got this.
Oh, that's
Meditate and prepare.
so bullshit. Okay. Nice. They've got 4 planeswalkers down. Just track them up.
Ghost fire, my greatest creation.
Ah, I see. It doesn't really exist the way you think it does. Short version is that this effect blocks you from casting while it spells on the stack. Ah. I don't want to just concede. Do you know how many people he's probably gone up against today, and as soon as this man hit 4 planeswalkers, they were like, okay, I'm good, bro. You'll win. You know, I'm tired as fuck anyways. What's the difference between Krim beating up on us with some planeswalkers and some other rando beating up on us with creatures or whatever? You know? I like the idea or the sentiment of content creators allowing other content creators to have fun. Speaking of content creators allowing other content creators to have fun, thank you, Krim. You said, what was that? You said something about fun, and then my Teferi started listening. I do want to concede. Don't get me wrong. I think we're almost to that point. You gotta let them play it. They're about to get their Ugin ulti off. They have Teferi right there at it. You know what I mean? Just let them have it. Nice. At least creatures feel more reasonable. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like debating on whether or not this feels good or bad. This definitely feels bad. I'm certainly not sitting here going woohoo. But at the same time, I bet he at the moment is like, oh, this is awesome. Somebody that's not conceding, that's actually allowing me to use my Ugin ulti and play all these cards. You know, he's probably having a field day right now, and it's that makes it all worth it.
Witness a mote of my power. Craving, thieving blood.
I've got it.
I gotta say, looking at his side of the board with the planeswalkers though, that is like the scariest lineup of planeswalkers I've ever seen. You have 2 Teferis, you have a Bolas, you have a Ugin, and this scary version of both, right? You have an Ashiok and a Narset. That's just crazy. Uh-oh. You better watch out, Krim. Alright. They've got to be able to end this, right?
Here's a constructive use of time.
Oh wait, why haven't I just been auto-passing? I'm sitting here like, resolve. Why? Okay, look. There we go. That's all I have to do to make it not auto-resolve animour? I'd have done that ages ago. And that is a GG, ladies and gentlemen. Good game, Krim. Is that his name? I am saying that right, yeah? Alrighty, you made it all the way through the matches. First and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for watching an hour of me be goofy and play a goofy deck, basically. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section. Let me know what your favorite deck so far from Core Set 2021 is. I'm interested to see, like, is it one that I've played or is it one that I haven't played yet and most definitely should? So let me know down below. If you're new to the channel and you watched an hour of my goofy ass, maybe you'd enjoy watching a couple more hours. So consider subscribing, clicking that bell icon that pops out afterwards. That way you can actually get notifications from YouTube whenever I go live, posting videos, not go live. You know what I'm talking about. But if you want to see me go live, speaking of which, good segue, hop over to twitch.tv/DrSpilk and toss a follow. I try to go live most days of the week. We're sort of hit or miss. It's usually around like 3 to 4 if I'm being realistic and honest. If you're looking for a Discord community to join up with, I recommend you hop down in the description below and toss a join there. I don't know what it's called when you join a Discord community. Anyways, we're chilled, we're kicked back. We try to just keep it very meh, it makes it sound kind of bland, but you get what I'm saying. Anyways, on to do this deck tech wrap up. The cards that I would recommend you slotting into your sideboard/main board to make this deck a little bit better. Now, we're going to dive into the ones for the sideboard right first because that's the ones dealing with Karn, and this is a monochromatic deck. Your Karn is kind of one of the key pieces. Yes, your Chromatic Orrery is fun. Yes, your Ugin is fun, but again, your Karn is like the really cool piece that you can get out down at 4 mana if you're not doing the obvious combo of Irencrag feat into Chromatic, right? So, other cards to add into your sideboard, Shadow Spear, it's great, it's only 1 mana, you can equip it for 2. It gives equipped creature +1/+1, has trample and lifelink. So this is really good for Gadrak. 1, it adds another artifact to the board. 2, it makes him a 6/5 flying trampler, lifelinking monster, right? And then for 1 mana, you can make your opponent's permanents lose hexproof and indestructible, which in those niche situations can be really, really great. Not to mention, you can throw this on something like Terror of the Peaks or Drakuseth and just go bonkers, right? Next up, we have Soul God Lantern. There's a ton of graveyard decks running around with Euro and Cat Oven and yada yada yada. So having a Soul God Lantern in the main board or sideboard, not a bad idea. 1, it helps with your Gadrak. 2, it deals with all those pesky cats and Euros and all that good stuff. Next up, God Pharaoh Statue. A lot of people play this in their chromatic sideboards because it is a good way of making your opponent basically just go slower. Making your opponent's spells cast cost 2 more is great if you're up against something like an aggro deck that's relying on the low cost of their creatures to sort of deal in. And at an added benefit, you get to deal 1 damage at the end step of each of your turns. So that's kind of nice, and it's only an uncommon, so if you're looking for cheaper cards to slot in there, there's that. Speaking of cheaper cards to slot in, I think Ugin's Conjurate. Also, I should make this comment, if you have Stone Cool Serpent, I think it's good enough to throw into the main board, so I would kind of recommend that you throw a couple copies into the main board, a couple into the side. But if you don't have Stone Cool, a decent replacement, I'm not going to say it's on the same level or anywhere near par, but decent, is Ugin's Conjurate. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counter, so similar effect. If damage would be dealt to Ugin's Conjurate, well, it has a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters from it. So the kind of nice thing is it dodges Death Touch, which we've sort of seen Death Touch come back. I don't think it'll ever be a true deck, but again, this is an uncommon as opposed to a rare, so you don't have to fork over near as much for it. Next up, if you're looking to go a little bit more rampy in your early, instead of like, oh, I have to find Irencrag feat, if you're okay with not finding it, and you want to cut out those cathartic reunions / throw possibilities, whatever, Runaway, goodness gracious, Runaway Steamkin is an excellent choice. 1, it gets all these counters that can then be removed and add 3 red mana, which, again, makes it to where on turn 4, theoretically, you could get down the Chromatic Orrery. Now, it may be a bit hard given the cost of your current spells, so you may want to throw out some like Shocks or some 1 mana red if you're going to throw in Runaway Steamkin. But it is a very fantastic card, and I would be remorse? I don't know. It would be wrong for me not to mention it, right? I think it's a fantastic card. I think it would work fantastic in the deck, but again, I was trying new stuff, so we wanted to get to the new stuff in playing this deck. If you're going to play Runaway Steamkin, a nice little artifact, whether it be in the sideboard or main board, it depends on how you, tech your deck, basically. Ozolith, it's great card. It's only 1 mana, and whenever a creature has counters on it and then leaves the battlefield or leaves the board, whatever, you're going to put all those counters onto the Ozolith. So it can make things like Runaway Steamkin into a Legion War Boss kind of viable, because you put the counters on Steamkin, then it dies. Then you can keep putting those counters on those 1/1 goblins that are swinging in and attacking it, you know, every combat. So now you have a 2/2 or a 3/3 swinging in every single time. It's a nice little combo, honestly, that I don't think's been explored too much, and you know, maybe there's a reason, maybe not. Anyways, Diamond Knight, another uncommon card for those budget players out there that still kind of want to have fun with this deck. It has Vigilance, and it reads, as it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen color, put a +1/+1 counter on Diamond Knight. So this goes back to the Ozolith deck. It's kind of nice with that. And as you're only playing one color, it's, well, really easy to make that choice, right? You're just going to name red, and then it's going to build up counters. And again, those counters can go into the Ozolith, so you don't lose everything if it leaves the battlefield. The downside to Diamond Knight is it does cost 3 mana for a 1/1, so it's not exactly great for Terror of the Peaks, but you know, you sort of weigh your options. Pattern Matcher. I don't know if this necessarily goes in this deck, but I couldn't mention Chrome Replicator without mentioning Pattern Matcher, as I think they are kind of cool in combination. So when Chrome Replicator enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more non-land, non-token permanents with the same name as one another, create a 4/4 colorless construct artifact creature token. So basically, if you have 2 cards that are the same, that aren't tokens down, you create 2 4/4s instead of just 1 for 5 mana, which I think is huge value with your Drakuseth. Pattern Matcher reads, whenever it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with the same name as another creature you control, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So it kind of allows you to complete this circle of Chrome Replicator that much easier. Also, it's kind of nice if you're going to be playing the Runaway Steamkins, because they're not legendary, you can sort of stack them down and they will build each other up as you play more and more and more. So it's another uncommon. It has a cool effect. It will act towards your Gadrak as well. I thought it was worth mentioning, you know? And it's a kind of good way to ramp with your Runaway Steamkin. Again, this is given that your opponent doesn't just immediately board wipe you. It is 4 mana, so it's very, very costly. But that leads me into my next card, Ugin the Ineffable. If you plan on playing more colorless spells and going more for the Gadrak or whatever, going for more artifact cards, this is a fantastic card. It'll make your big Ugin cost less. It'll make your Chromatic Orrery cost less. It'll make your Karn cost less. Pretty much all your colorless, right? I mean, it literally says that. Anyways, for +1, you can also pseudo draw a card. You exile the top card of your library face down. You get to look at it, but your opponent can't. Then you create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token, which is kind of on top of the card, if that makes sense. And so whenever that token leaves the battlefield, you're gonna put that exile card into your hand. So once that 2/2 dies, you draw the card. That's why I say pseudo card draw. Anyways, for -3, you can destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Now, you can't destroy big Ugins with this. You can't destroy your opponent's Chromatic Orreries or their ovens, but there's a lot of things that this does hit, like the new Teferi, right? So there's very high benefits to playing this 6 mana Ugin, almost to the point where I'd recommend throwing them into the main deck. But again, that's really on the direction that you want to take with this deck, because the main piece is is Irencrag feat, enter Chromatic Orrery, or like I said, Runaway Steamkin if you want to try that method. So the main thing is just ramping into it, and then everything else that you play outside of it, you know, outside of Karn, is sort of up for debate, right? It's up to how you want to build the deck. So anyways, thanks again everybody for watching all the way through to the end of the video. I always appreciate the support y'all bring, and it's crazy the levels of support y'all bring. So thank you kindly. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I hope you're all having good nights, good days, good afternoons, whatever time it may be, wherever you are. And as always, I'll see you either later tonight or tomorrow. Peace.